my jetpack on my back, and there's no unpacking that jetpack at this time. So I'm going to take a wild guess, and I'm going to say it's mic number 5. Let's see. Can you hear me? Look, I see levels. Hey, everybody. Okay, there we go. Here we go. Let's go. Plus, Election Day is 1 week away from today. Your last-minute questions answered.
The Red Claw season hasn't started yet, so why are we at the expo along with so many other people? You'll find out in a minute. This is News Center Now.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Lindsay Mills, and as you can see, Lee Goldberg is on assignment tonight, and he is live with more about an organization that's been around for more than 100 years. Hey, Lee.
Hey, Millsy. Yeah, just a little before I got started 100 years ago. But yeah, it's a big night. This is the 10th season for the Red Claws, so it's a big year for them. It's also the 10th year of Kids and Claws. It's going to be a benefit to benefit the Boys and Girls Club. Much more on that coming up a little bit later on.
All right, Lee, thank you so much for that. And the top story of our day today, the notorious mob boss James Whitey Bulger has died. The FBI is investigating the 89-year-old's death. He was moved from a federal West Virginia to a West Virginia prison yesterday, and that's where Bulger was found unresponsive just before 8:30 this morning. He was one of the FBI's most wanted fugitives. He was on the run for 16 years. He was found in Santa Monica, California, and it was an FBI PSA that led to his capture, produced by a Mainer and former News Center Maine employee.
This is an announcement by the FBI. Have you seen this woman? The FBI is offering $100,000 for tips leading to Catherine Grieg's whereabouts. These photos are from the early 1990s. Grieg has had plastic surgeries. She is wanted for harboring James Whitey Bulger, a fugitive on the FBI's 10 most wanted list. 60-year-old Grieg is the girlfriend of 81-year-old Bulger. He has a violent temper and is charged with 19 murders. Call the tip line at 1-800-CALL-FBI.
Now, Charlie Berg, a former News Center Maine employee and the president of Black Fly Media at the time of that PSA production, is here now. The FBI hired you guys to produce this PSA. So what was that moment like when you picked up the phone and the FBI was on the other line?
Well, so the phone call was received by Angie Helton at Northeast Media Associates, who we worked with closely on occasion. And she said, hey Charlie, you want to work on this project? The FBI has something for us. They're not going to tell me what it is until like the day of. But I said, yeah, I'm in. Count me in. And then the packet of materials came in the mail. You know, like the day before everybody showed up, and we knew what it was.
Do you know why Black Fly Media was one of the two selected, two both being in the greater Portland area?
Yeah, so it was a former colleague of ours who also worked in the Portland News Market, who left news and got a job in communications at the FBI. So she knew us, and she reached out because they asked her to find somebody she knew and trusted. So
let me get this right. Hours of editing, a 30-second spot that generated the one tip that federal agents needed to find him. I mean, what was your thought when you found, or what were you thinking really when you heard the news?
I got a text at about midnight or 1 o'clock in the morning, and thanks to autocorrect, it was my business partner at the time, Jason. Autocorrect, it said, "Holy shot, they caught Whitey."
I was going to say, we don't have a delay. Making me nervous.
But he, and I don't think I went back to bed. I just, I was emailing people and calling people at 1 o'clock in the morning and saying, hey, get this. You know, it was 24 hours after, you know, the commercial was made public. And I don't even know that it actually ever made it to air. It may have. But I think it was a result of the publicity and the press that the FBI was having to announce the campaign. So, and I think it was carried on CNN, and a woman in Iceland watching recognized the faces, Catherine Grieg, as her former neighbors in Santa Monica, California, I think.
Wow. Well, Charlie Berg, thank you so much for joining us today and taking us down memory lane with that. Thank you so, so much. All right, let's switch gears now and check in with Keith Carson, because this weather pattern, it's feeling cool, it's feeling crisp.
It's not great. Charlie, by the way, I do the almost FCC violations around this joint, okay? So that's really what I do every day. All right, good to see you, Charlie. Let's go now to current temperatures. It was coolish today. We got to around 50 in spots, but dropping quickly into the 40s and 30s in the mountains. Overnight lows will be in the 20s in a lot of spots, and right around 30 degrees. Wiscasset 29 in Portland, 32 in Rockland. So because of the relatively clear skies, temperatures will drop off. And we saw some clouds over northern Maine late in the afternoon. Most of us saw the most sunshine we've seen in about three and a half days today, and I think that's going to be kind of the max sunshine we're going to see over the next 5 or 6 days, unfortunately. Tomorrow we start with some sun, so Halloween Day starts nice and sunny, but by the afternoon clouds start moving in. Then we see some showers, and the timing of these showers is important to a lot of people, of course, because of Halloween. Trick-or-treating looks like the showers will be in the mountains around 5 or 6 to the coastline, Lindsay, by 7. We got a big storm, though, coming for Friday and the weekend. We'll talk about that in a few minutes.
All right, Keith, thanks so much. Election Day is 1 week from today, and candidates for Maine's Senate seat are making their final pushes to win the spot. Chris Costa looked into some of the claims candidates made during last night's forum.
Hey, Lindsay, yes, State Senator Eric Brakey and Zach Ringelstein both bashed Senator Angus King for where his money comes from and how he votes. We're trying to cut through some of that political rhetoric and answer some of the facts. Claims flying about Senator Angus King's voting record during Monday's debate.
You've run as an independent, you tell us you're an independent, but you vote 92% of the time with Chuck Schumer.
The Senator Angus King works with Trump 47% of the time, votes with Trump 47% of the time, is a complete and utter disgrace.
First, that math does not add up. Second, some of the votes are procedural or ceremonial, which makes these claims hard to verify. So let's look at one issue: healthcare. Google Trends shows Mainers searched healthcare more than any other political topic since 2017, according to independent website 538. Senator King voted opposite of President Trump's stance on healthcare-related measures 5 out of 6 times since January 2017, voting no on different repeals to the Affordable Care Act. He and President Trump voted in step on a measure to expand private care options for veterans. Another one of the top 5 most Googled political topics in Maine: guns.
Here in Maine, we have the strongest Second Amendment protections in the entire country. We're also ranked the safest state in America. In fact, 4 out of the top 5 safest states in America are all constitutional carry states.
In a U.S. News and World Report article, yes, Maine was rated the safest state. We ranked 2nd in the country in a similar Wallet Hub report. And Brakey's claim is true. Maine, Vermont, New Hampshire, and Idaho, which are in the top 5 of that U.S. News report, all have constitutional carry laws. Whether that right to carry directly affects safety, Ringelstein and King disagree.
I mean, this
Do
is...
we really want to be a society where people have guns in churches and schools?
The thing is,
this is classic Eric Brakey.
Criminals don't obey gun laws. You can pass whatever law you want. Criminals don't follow it. We might as well make the state of Maine a murder-free zone. In fact, I think we already have. But people are still committing crimes. They don't follow the laws. Law-abiding citizens do. You're disarming law-abiding citizens with these laws.
Well, if you missed any of that Senate debate, you can go to our website, newscentermaine.com, and check out the entire full Senate debate, and also chime in and join the conversation using the hashtag #MeSenateDebate. Lindsay?
All right, Chris, thanks so much. Well, the season hasn't yet started for the Maine Red Claws, but there's a pretty big crowd expected at their home arena tonight, and that's where we find Lee Goldberg. He's there to explain why. Hey, Lee.
Hey, Lindsay, it is going to get loud in here tonight. We're going to have kids screaming, loud music, cheerleaders. But the Red Claws don't even play a game until later on this week. So why all of the commotion? Well, it's for a really good cause. It's a big victory for the Maine Red Claws and the Boys and Girls Clubs of Southern Maine, but no game has to be played. The 10th annual Kids in Claws Welcome Back Dinner raises money for and the spirits of local children.
Kids from throughout the community are getting a chance to rub elbows, literally, with the brand new Red Claws team, get autographs on the Kids in Claws shirts they get, shoot around hoops, and then sit down with a player at each table so they can interact with this brand new team.
The Boys Clubs of America was founded in 1906, and all of these years later, Boys and Girls Clubs still play an important role in communities across the nation.
We serve all kids, especially those who need us most. So one of the hallmarks of Boys and Girls Clubs, not only here, but in Portland, Oregon, or wherever, is low membership fees. So in our case, it's $5 for a year. No girl or boy is turned away.
For the Red Claws, a night like this checks a couple of boxes.
Just getting the players involved in the community, lighting up those kids' faces that might not have an opportunity to come to a game or to meet a professional basketball player, you're creating fans for life.
All right, the doors open up at 6 o'clock down here, so if you want to come, and it's certainly not too late, it's going to be a big night of action and events. You get to meet the players. You never know who you're going to meet. In fact, you might meet News Center Maine's very own Katie Bavoso. What? That is worth the price of admission alone. Actually lied, Millsy. The doors are open now, so come on down. We're coming back to the expo right after the break, guys.
Katie, I love that lobster claw necklace. That's a good one. She's gonna have to bring that back. I'm gonna have to borrow that. All right, guys, thanks so much. Okay, still ahead on News Center Now. We're gonna talk about all things question 1. We're gonna find out how it will impact people come tax season. Sam York sits down with people from both sides and tries to get a better understanding of the question. All right, everybody. I actually haven't even fired up Facebook yet because I was working up until the very last second to get something into the show. So let me fire that up now so I can see what you guys are talking about. I guess I want to ask this question. I feel like when Whitey Bulger was captured, it's a moment that like everybody remembers where they were when they heard the news that he was captured after 16 years. So I'll ask you guys, where were you or what were you doing when you found out that he was captured? After 16 years of being on the run, wanted for 19 murders. Wow, Robert says he's on a side note, separate note, he says he saw his first Christmas TV ad yesterday, way too early. I know, that's kind of a crazy thought. Oh, Joe, it's National Candy Corn Day. That's crazy. Mike, I think the volume should be good now. Andy's watching from LA. Andy, are you a Red Sox fan or are you a Dodgers fan? Are you a Red Sox fan living in LA? So yeah. Joe says he thinks he was home sleeping. I remember I was working at my first TV job in a newsroom. Okay, what do you guys want me to do? Do you want me to toss to Sam?
No. Right now?
Okay.
Right now?
No. We lost the live shot, so he's going to put something else in. Oh, okay, it's back. Guys, live television. So yes. Hey Delos, hey Kimberly, hey Kathy, hey Debbie, hey Deborah, and Justin and Mike. We're gonna check back in with Lee in just a second.
Good, man.
All right, one of us played for the Harlem Globetrotters, one of us did not. Welcome back, everybody. Dwan Eubanks, president of the Red Claws. How are you, sir?
Good to see you.
Good to see you. This,
yes.
10 years for you guys, 10 years of this event. I mean, a lot of smiles in this place tonight.
A lot of smiles, and we want to continue to produce that here in this community. And so it's been great to be around for 10 years. Hard to believe, as you were saying earlier, how we continue to get older, but this thing continues to go, go, go. It's just exciting to be coming into this year like this.
It's one thing to make your players have to show up and be here. It's another thing to see them over the years. They like being here. Like, they're not just here because they have to be. They seem to really get into it.
That's the great thing about this community. This isn't a make or have to do thing. These are things that the guys want to do themselves. And so as you can see, a gym full of kids, that first time being introduced into this community, and it's the way the community embraces them that makes it worth it for them all together.
Is there a way to put like a tangible value on what it's going to mean to these kids that come in here tonight? They're going to get to hang out with your players, eat a meal, get to know them a little bit. I mean, it's just what a great experience.
I mean, you're a sports enthusiast. Think about the first time you met your first professional athlete and how that may have influenced you or impacted you as a kid. And so that's the same thing that's happening here in this community with these guys. And the beauty of it is you never know who's going to go on to be that next star in the NBA. But just think about it as a kid yourself. I mean, I remember when I met my first marquee player who played for UAB at the time, and he was the one that got me started in basketball. So, I mean, you never know with these kids on any given night that they come into the arena to engage with our players who might have that certain impact on them to go on and pursue whatever it is they want to pursue as well.
Well, the original plan was for me to play one-on-one against Dwan, but we're out of time. So, unfortunately, we're out of time. We got to go. Come on down to the Expo night. It's going to be awesome. Mills, go back to you.
Oh, thanks, guys. Lee has a habit of like stepping in front of somebody when he's done speaking. I'm glad he does it to a Harlem Globetrotter and not just me. Observations. All right, coming up, another observation, a water spout that a lot of you were talking about. What's up with these water spouts? And maybe Keith has the answer, but he definitely has the forecast coming up. Keith, do you know what's up with all the water spouts?
We've just been connected lately. That's a cool video, though.
Yeah. Joe, yeah, a lot of people are very happy to have Charlie Berg back in the newsroom today. That was a really cool thing. An interesting connection. So yeah. Okay, so one of the questions that's going to be on the ballot 1 week from today, when you go to the polls, you're going to have to answer yes or no in support of question 1. That is a topic that we've been covering for a couple of weeks now, and trying to get to the bottom of the wording of the question, who it directly impacts or who it does not impact. And today Sam is visiting that question again today, visiting that topic. So if you guys have any question 1 questions, I know that sounds a little redundant, send them to us right now on Facebook Live or YouTube, where we're also streaming. So yeah. Sam, what question are you answering with question 1 today? Who it impacts?
We're clearing up what it is,
who pays, yeah, if it passes.
Impact. But the problem is that the answer that we're getting from the yes side is it's muddy. It's not cut and dry, so it makes it really complicated.
Gotcha. Yeah, I'm certainly confused about it. So yeah. I love the Harlem Globetrotters. I'm a little jealous that Lee got to interview a Harlem Globetrotter.
How much time do we have?
We have 30 seconds.
So I'll come back for the next commercial break.
Okay.
Wave me down when you...
Okay. It's something we've been talking a great deal about for the past few weeks. Question 1. But even after numerous stories 1 week to Election Day, you're still saying that you have questions. So Samantha York has been digging into this referendum. Sam, why are people having such a hard time understanding this question?
Well, you know, what I've heard the most from people is that it's the way it's written. So that's why we're spending so much time on this, to help make a seemingly cloudy issue a little more clear.
I study policies.
You've probably been seeing these a lot lately.
Question 1.
Ads pushing for a yes vote on Question 1, a bill that would provide universal home care for all Maine seniors and any person with a disability, regardless of their income. How would they do this? By creating a new 3.8% tax on individuals and families with a gross income of $128,400 or higher.
If universal home care is so important, why isn't everyone paying for it?
Newell Auger is the campaign manager of the opposing No on One campaign. He and others call the bill a scam, saying those in support of the bill are not being clear about who will actually be taxed.
All we have as Maine voters to go on is the language of the document, and the language of the document says families.
Supporters say the focus of the tax has been and remains on individuals, regardless of what the referendum question says.
The language of the bill that people are voting on says individuals and families, though.
The language on the ballot is not nearly as clear as it could be, but yes, individuals and families is what it says. Of course, intent and the application of this would only be on individual income.
So what about couples filing their taxes jointly? According to an analysis by the Maine Society of Certified Public Accountants, if you file your taxes jointly and have a combined income greater than $128,400, you will have to pay that 3.8% tax, even if neither of you earns above that amount.
The way these folks have concocted this scheme, folks from out of state who don't even pay into the system in Maine would be able to access benefits from it.
But is that true? The language of the bill doesn't specify whether or not you have to be a full-time resident of the state, and supporters didn't have a clear answer on whether part-time residents would qualify. Instead, if it passes, they would leave it up to legislators to decide, saying their focus is keeping people who need care in their communities.
It's a part of being able to live in your own home and to age with dignity, and those aren't services that people are accessing for a few months when they're in Maine on vacation.
But those against the referendum say these issues shouldn't be left to the legislature to tackle.
Anyone who is banking on the idea that the legislature can or will fix something, quite frankly, is playing with house money.
So we'll definitely be talking more about Question 1 in the days counting down to the election, and definitely check out our in-depth breakdown online, easy to get to on your phone or desktop computer. Guys, back to you.
All right, Sam, thanks. Okay, check out this video now. A waterspout about 12 miles southeast of Matinicus Island. The video was taken by Ryan Feener, and this isn't the only one. Other waterspouts were reported off the coast of New England yesterday, along with a very weak tornado in Woods Hole, Massachusetts, down the Cape.
Which is the same thing, by the way. Waterspout and tornado is just that the waterspout is over water and tornadoes over land. But yeah, we had some convective weather the past couple of weeks, unusual for October. I always thought Matinicus Rock would be a great live shot in a storm.
Pretty.
Like just scary.
Emotional weather.
But and then,
I do have a quick waterspout question for you.
Okay.
I'm going to put you on the spot here.
All right.
I know there's a difference between a tornado and a funnel cloud, because a funnel cloud is when the tornado doesn't touch the ground.
Correct.
But how do you determine if a funnel cloud is touching the water? There's no mark in the water that you can revisit later.
Well, usually, like in that video, you can see that it's spinning up the water. But you mean after the fact?
Yeah.
Waterspouts are usually observational. So yeah, to that point, they don't go back and do a survey because there's no way of knowing.
Okay.
Lucky I know all of the weathers.
Of course
Lindsay.
you do. Of course
I'm
you
gonna
do.
ask you news questions later. You don't know what they're going to be about? Could be a long time ago. All right, visible satellite. We had some sunshine today for the first time in a little while after a rough weekend and a rough start to the work week. Now starting to cloud up a bit, but we'll be partly cloudy through most of tonight as some of those convective clouds die down. Temperatures in the 40s right now along the coastline, 30s in the mountains, and we'll drop quickly tonight with radiational cooling in pretty strong effect. So 20s even to the coastline here by early tomorrow morning. 29 to do it in Portland, 33 in Bar Harbor, and around 28 in Millinocket. So certainly a cold night. Not issuing any more frost advisories or freeze warnings because we've all had a hard freeze or 2 or 3, depending on where you're located. Hour by hour forecast. Tomorrow morning we start with a good deal of sunshine, so a bright start to Wednesday. However, clouds start moving in during the afternoon and relatively quickly there into the mountains. By late in the day, a couple of showers start moving in, and the timing of this is important, of course, to trick-or-treaters. So showers in the mountains around 4 o'clock, probably 5 to 6 along the coastline, and then they'll be scattered throughout the night until around midnight when they settle down. And then, what do you know, more showers in the forecast for Thursday, particularly on Thursday afternoon. So your trick-or-treat forecast is looking as it did yesterday, which is around 50 to start, 40s later in the day, and then ending up with some showers being pretty likely by 6 o'clock, 7 o'clock, and certainly by 9. We have a pretty nasty storm coming our way for Friday night, and into Saturday. Yet another wind and rain event, and it lasts most of the day on Saturday. So right that weekend day off. Sunday looks like the better of the 2 weekend days. Rainfall amounts pretty hefty here, Lindsay, looking at up to 2 inches of rain from our next storm, and some areas picking up close to 3 inches of precipitation. So our wet pattern continues. By the way, Braindrops is on that, is on how not sunny we've been lately. Sunday looks good. That's the good news. Bad news, as I mentioned, fall back means 425, 427 or so, sunset, depending on your location, which is the worst. I'm with Bill Green on this initiative of just not doing this anymore because, like, I don't understand why we do this. But
some states have gone away with it, I'm pretty sure, or some areas of some states.
They're voting. I think our deal is we said we'd vote on it if Massachusetts does it or New Hampshire does it or something, but it's probably not going to happen because it messes up so many other parts of business. But I just, when it gets down to 355 in December,
that's too early. It's like your day's over.
Terrible.
All right, Keith, thanks so much. Well, a lot more news coming up on News Center Maine at 5:30. Cindy Williams has a preview. Hey, Cindy.
Hey, guys, how does free college tuition sound? Pretty good, right? More than 450 students at the University of Maine this year are going tuition free. We're going to meet one of them who says it's the only way she would have ever wound up in college because otherwise she wouldn't be able to afford it. And an iconic landmark in Biddeford is soon going to be getting a facelift. We'll see how the city was able to get help from people both here and away in restoring this. It's all coming up at 5:30. Back to you.
All right, Cindy, thanks so much. Brain drops when we come back. All right, friends. Coco, we're in the break if you want to join.
You never know.
Oh, Dean has a great question, Keith. La Nina winter should ask, does it look like it could be an El Nino pattern for winter 2018-19? That face says no.
Yeah.
I says your face says no.
No, yeah. Oh, sorry. I don't think it's going to be, we're doing our winter weather special coming up, so I don't want to get too much away.
Gotcha.
But I don't think it's a strong teleconnection winter, meaning I don't think that's the main driver in our winter.
Gotcha. Gotcha.
We do have a winter weather special though, taping it soon, so.
Yeah, then let him know in his eye.
I know that water spout question is probably a dumb one, but it's just something I've always wondered.
Yeah, they don't rate water spouts.
Oh.
So
it's like its own separate thing. Gotcha. Gotcha,
The only way to rate them really is by damage.
Yeah. Oh, thank you. I'm sorry. I should have gotten that. Ugh.
I like the fake news app in this ad. Have you seen this?
No, I haven't.
It just says, news, Bruce Palkin saves jobs. That's what it says.
Oh my God. Oh gosh, I cannot believe Election Day is 1 week away.
I can, based on the amount of ads that we have running right now.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. And tomorrow's Halloween. Does Luca, can you say Luca's Halloween costume, his very first one?
Yeah, it's, he's a rat. He's a rodent.
Wait,
more
what?
Specifically. You ever seen the movie Princess Bride?
Yes. Oh, okay.
Yes.
Makes
so he's
sense.
a rodent of unusual size. I'm Wesley and Paul is Princess Buttercup. We have a picture of it. We're waiting to get, we went to this photo booth where they took like good pictures.
That's awesome.
And they actually got him to smile at the right time, which is hard to do sometimes.
Oh, that's key.
I mean, he's smiley, but usually I have to cheat and kiss him or something.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah.
That's good.
Kid life. He's almost 7 months coming up.
That's great. Like, where does the time go? I saw so many of you guys at the Equality Maine Pumpkin Ball. So many people had crazy clever costumes.
Rob Nesbitt's was really amazing.
Yeah,
he did.
Winifred Sanderson.
Yes, they did Sanderson sisters from Hocus Pocus.
He looked
and
amazing.
They nailed it. It was pretty strong.
Was.
Okay, it's going to take me half the time to explain this graphic.
Okay.
Okay, nobody gets scared. Lee would have already run out of the room. So, has it felt like we haven't had much sunshine this fall? Well, that has backed up. And this is looking at solar radiation incoming. So, this is the maximum amount that you could see. So, on any given day, that's the most sunshine you could possibly see here and here. Okay, this is this year. You notice we haven't got to November yet. This is last year. So, what you're looking for is the less that these bars actually get to this line, the more clouds there were. Okay, so it's like an inverse relationship. Look at what happened this year, particularly through September, and then look at October. Look how little sunshine we're seeing compared to what we could see, and then compare that to last year when we're almost at the max bars all the way through. So what that's telling you is we're not seeing a very high percentage at all of the amount of sunshine that we could see on any given day and through the month. So your idea that the clouds have been prevalent this fall and that we've gotten 1 out of every 3 days has been sunny, that's roughly what this is showing you, and then we'll see what the trend does. Notice, by the way, there's your fallback, right? This is the max amount of sun you can see in December as opposed to June and July.
All right, follow me with this. If we were to put a relative comparison of my step count, it would probably be the same thing because I only go outside to exercise when it's sunny out.
No, it's true, and like it affects so many things.
Yeah.
Foliage is one. Luckily, tourism not so much because people I think book ahead of time.
Sure.
But it's just been a rough fall as far as that goes. We'll see how we go into November. But this graph is confusing, but that's what it's telling you.
You explained it.
Okay,
all right.
good.
Thanks, Keith. News Animated at 5:30 starts
Am
now.
I supposed to walk in front of you now?
That was great. Bye, guys. We'll see you tomorrow.